Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mel Stampin' Gallery. Melanie here, and today I wanted to share with you some of the layouts, scrapbook layouts that I created for my workshop participants. Not my workshop participants, my scrapbook retreat guests. All right, so I do hold weekend retreats here in the Akron, Ohio area, and if you want to learn more about that, please go down to that description box down below and open it up and click on the link down there, and you will be invited to join my private Facebook group where I do post about my weekend retreats. So my guests have the option of purchasing a add-on kit. So what I do is I create 3 double page layouts, so that's 6 scrapbook layouts using a featured product from Stampin' Up. And this month I decided to use the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper and the coordinating sticker sheet. And then also to create some of the titles, I used the Celebrate Together stamp set, as well as the embossing folders called Glass and Gardens that coordinate with this set. So I am going to clear this off and I will bring in the layouts and I'll show you what I created. The first layout I think is probably the most basic of the 3. It uses just the pattern paper from the Celebratory Sips collection, and to make the embellishment clusters, you can see those there, I'll hold them up for you a little bit. Those were made simply by fussy cutting the images from this piece of Designer Series paper. Now I know what you're thinking. Some of you are thinking, I don't like fussy cutting. These images are very, very simple to fussy cut. Like for instance, this one doesn't even have any sprigs on the top. So that's pretty easy to cut out. Let's take a minute and I'll show you exactly how easy it is. Once you decide which image you want to cut out, let's say we're going to do this one down here. Like I said, it's very easy to trim around this image, but what I want to do first is I like to cut out the whole thing from the paper so I don't have such a huge piece. Okay, so then you're just going to take your scissors and leave a little bit of a white margin around there when you're cutting. And you notice I'm just opening and closing my scissors very slowly, and I am turning the paper and not the scissors. And it is, believe it or not, much easier to leave that white edge, and it also looks like a die cut piece when you do it that way. But when you leave a little bit of that white edge rather than cut right on that line, it's much, much easier to get an even cut. All right, so there you have it. So that wasn't hard, was it? So that's how I created the different embellishment clusters around this page. And then there was some of these smaller images from the smaller paper. Let me show you that one right here. So you can take some of these smaller images and cut them. This picture, again, right here, that wasn't very hard to cut. Just didn't take much time at all. And then if you wanted to cut and trim some of the fruit pieces and the embellishments from the rest of the paper, that's how we did that as well. All right. And then the title, okay, actually I did create that on my Cricut. I actually asked ChatGPT for some title suggestions, and I just put in there for my prompt, I said, give me some scrapbook titles for summer memories with summer drinks, and it came up with a whole bunch of really nice ones. I liked this one. I found and I just did a print and cut, and I used the hex codes that coordinated with the colors in this stamp set. So that one of the participants, if they chose an add-on kit, they were given this title as part of their kit. All right, so let me show you the next the next layout. Now the next one, I wanted to focus on the floral elements of the patterned paper. And to make the title, I'm simply taking the coordinating stamp set here, and I stamped it in the Blackberry Bliss ink, and then I did die cut that out with a shape from the Nested Essentials die. And there was this tiny little flower right here, and I stamped that on the title as well. And to get it in the two separate colors, I used markers for that. Let me show you how that. All right, so I'm going to take that little flower from the stamp set and mount that on my acrylic block. Let me move this out of the way here and just get some scratch white paper so I can show you what I'm doing. So I'm using markers. I'm using the Stampin' Write markers, and I am going to use the brush tip of the marker to color directly on the stamp set. Okay, so I'm starting with, let's see, this one is Melon Mambo, and I take the side of the brush tip and color on the stamp set, and then I will take the green, same thing, and I want that little leaf, so I will just color on that using the side of my marker. And then to re-moisten it a little bit, I'll just give it a little huff, and then I'll go ahead and stamp on my cardstock. And then you have your little two-toned stamp from one stamp set using your Stampin' Write markers. One of the other techniques that this layout used was the sanding of the two-tone cardstock. Did you know that Stampin' Up! Now carries two-tone cardstock in all its colors in 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock? I'm so excited because I love the sanding of the edges. I love the sanding of the embossing like that. So let me show you how we did that. So the embossing folder, that I showed you before, this is called Glass and Gardens. So it has this floral border piece, and it also has this, it looks kind of like glass. All right, so it's got two of those. So I used both of those for both of those tags. Once you've got it embossed, then all you have to do is get a sanding block of some kind, a nail file, anything like that, and you can just start to sand your cardstock, and that will bring out that white core from the paper, which of course makes that design stand out so much prettier. And then also on the tag, then I also sanded the edges of the cardstock as well. Okay, so that's how that's done. And then I just tie a little bit of that gold shimmer trim ribbon on there. This was also made from the stamp set. Did some dovetail some tags on the edge here. Of course, the sponging around all the edges gives it that little extra touch. And then this scallop was also from the sticker sheet. All right, so I'll bring that. Oh, I wanted to mention, this was from the sticker sheet. Let's see if I can find that for you. Here is the sticker sheet, and that was from this floral sticker here, but I did trim closer to the image. When I peeled the sticker off here, it left quite a large white border around it, and I didn't want such a large white border, so I did trim that a little bit. Okay, so let me move this aside and bring in the last layout to share with you. And the third and final layout that was part of the add-on kit is this one here. This one has a little bit more techniques on it. The title was from the sticker sheet. Some of these floral embellishments are from the sticker sheet as well. This piece here was from the sticker sheet. And then of course these were all the designer series paper. We do have some of the Fussy cut images here. And then the banner piece was embossed and then sanded like I showed you previously. Okay, but then I wanted to show you, can you see the detail on this glass here, this drink glass there, and also the detail on this glass on this embellishment cluster? I want to show you how that was achieved. Those images were stamped on this piece of designer series paper. Now a lot of people were like, I was one of them, what do I do with this large piece of all these watercolor blobs? Well, let's take a look. So this is the Cheers and Sips coordinating stamp set, and you notice it has these drink glasses. Well, guess what? Those drink glasses, those outlines of the drink glasses were meant, have you guessed it, to stamp and die cut these watercolor blobs, and I'll show you how that is done. Just going to take a piece of leftover that I have here, and I'll take the basic gray, and very lightly, when you're stamping, you just tap lightly on your ink pad. You do not have to smush it down, and then you just stamp over that blob, and I left a little bit on the top so it looked like that drink line right there. You see that? And then the stamp set also has these cute little ice cubes, so I added those as well. I think I added those in a lighter color. Let me get a lighter gray color for those ice cubes. I'm going to use the smoky slate for the ice cubes, and again, just lightly tapping in your ink pad. I think I might need to be re-inking this one a little bit. Okay, so then you can even just stamp off a little bit if you want to. Then you've got your ice in your glass. There is a die for this, but you know what? Sometimes I'm too lazy to get it out, and this is pretty easy to fussy cut. So again, you're just turning the paper and not the scissors, and just slightly cutting away from the stamped image. Now, of course, on this one, you probably don't want to leave so much of that white border because of that ink blob, that watercolor ink blob. All right, but then you have your die cut and stamped image. And there are also these taller images, and of course there is that taller drink glass here. And I want to show you this very quickly because there is a really cool die cut, if you will, kind of a faux die cut, I don't know what else to call it, that goes along with this dark image, or tall image. So same thing, I want to stamp that with my basic gray. And let's choose one of the taller images here. Okay, and we will cut that out. And I want to show you, so here it is, whoops. All right, so we've got the tall one here cut out, and if you look at the Cheers and Sips dies, it has this piece that kind of looks like stars, I guess, in a way, but that is meant to then die cut on this longer shape. And when you do that, take that to your die cutting machine. When you're done, then you have this embossed image here that you see on the glass. So it looks kind of like the condensation on the glass. Let me bring in these layouts for you once again so that you can see them close up. And there's the first one. Here's the second one. And here is the first one. Here's the, I don't know which order I showed this to you. The second one maybe that I showed you. Anyway, here they all three are. And I also had some cards to go along with this, so let me show you those cards as well. These cards also used the Celebratory Sips Sweet Collection. So these were the cards. If you wanted to choose the card add-on pack, these were some of the cards that you got with that add-on pack. And there were 15 different cards, and these are the ones that used the Celebratory Sips collection. Now, what I wanted to tell you was if you are interested in any of these guides for the cards or the scrapbook workshops, I am going to be offering the PDFs for these workshop guides for free. Simply make a $35 purchase on my website. And to do that, just click that box down below, that description box. You can find that by hitting that word that says more, and that will expand the description box. And all the supplies I have listed or I have used will be listed down in that description box down below. So just make a $35 purchase on my website and I will send you either the card workshop if you want, or the PDF for the cutting instructions for the scrapbook workshop guides. So once again, $35 purchase. You can receive the card cutting guide or the scrapbook workshop guide. If you want both, make a $50 purchase. And again, you'll find all those links down below in the description box. So I hope you've enjoyed these layouts. I hope they have inspired you today. So go out and do something crafty. Bye-bye.
Links for products used in this video are listed in the description box down below. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and for more crafty inspiration, be sure to check out the video on screen. Bye bye.